Hello and welcome to the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League live tonight from the Hockenheimring here in Germany. Going to be a good one tonight. Race 7 out of 10 this season, and the championship's still pretty tight at the top of the standings. Looking at Brian Kennedy on track here, the 77 AMG Mercedes. Currently your points leader, 14 points over Adam Pohl in the Aston Martin here, number 5. Both these guys currently up in the top 5 in the qualifying grid so far. And this track, 2.84 miles, 16 turns. Like I just said, race 7 out of 10. Things really starting to come to a close here in this championship, but it is far from over. Very excited to see how things go here this evening. We'll ride on board here with Adam Pohl. Small track map down there in the bottom right. Towards the beginning of the lap here, work down to the hairpin turn. Hard on the brakes to the right. Down this long stretch here. Rather more of a short stretch. It's going to be kind of a really big chicane to the right, back to the left. And back to the right again. The rumble strips a little bit right there. Onto another short straightaway, back to the right. So pretty technical track here. Back to the left. Higher speed corner. Back to the left again, a little bit back to the right here, and then another turn back to the right. Cross the line right there. So that's most of a lap around the Hockenheimring. Adam Pohl able to improve with that one. He'll go to 3rd on the qualifying charts. Pull up those times there. He's going to go off the racetrack. Looks like that, or at least conclude with just 15 seconds left in qualifying. These guys, not a lot of time to make improvements here. Justin Craig, not going to be able to get back to stripe in time to improve his lap. But currently 4th in qualifying, and the field will invert here. These are 20-minute sprint races. We're going to have 2 of them, and the field will invert between them. Brian Kennedy capturing the pole time here, doing exactly what he needs to do to keep as many points out in front of Adam Pohl as he can. Look now at your starting grid here tonight from the Hockenheimring, race number 8. BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. Let's pull up at starting grid race. At least qualifying times, but these will be inverted in the starting grid. So Brian Kennedy, fastest. He'll start from the back. Clint Fletcher alongside him. Be towards the back of the field. Adam Pohl, Justin Craig, Darren Treacle, Matthew Gazenda, Yakov Bielik, Jesse Brannon, Mike Nickum, Scott Kim. Top 10 quickest in qualifying, and then David Curtis and Carlos Bonds going to be making up the rest of the qualifying grid here, but you can see that they are inverted. We are going to go through this kind of the old school way. Carlos Bonds starting out in front tonight for sprint race number 1, and then David Curtis, Scott Kim, Mike Nickum, Jesse Brannon, Yakov Bielik, Matthew Gazenda, Darren Treacle, Justin Craig, Adam Pohl will round out the top 10 on the starting grid, and then Clint Fletcher, Brian Kennedy, the final row in tonight's field for sprint race number 1. Depending on where they finish in this one, they will invert again. It's going to get very interesting. The fastest guys in qualifying start from the back, and it's a great change that they've made in this league. Something they're constantly doing, improving and changing rules to make the racing that much better and that much more exciting. Really has been very good, even with smaller fields so far with the summer. Been a lot of fun. Bring the action to you each and every week. Of course, cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know you're out there, who you are rooting for. Tonight's race brought to you by SEO Mike and Beltway Brewing Company. You'll hear more about them at the halfway point between the sprint races, as well as check them out in the video description. We're about to get going here from the Hockenheimring. Carlos Bonds, David Curtis out in front. You got us going. Green flag in the air and good jump from Scott Kim right there behind. He gets rolling straight away. We are 3 wide, battling for the race lead down into turn number 1. And car around the 007. Carlos Bonds caught up in that one. Darren Treacle got shuffled back a few spots right there. Let's go take a look back at this. What happened to the 007? He was right in the middle of all of it, and he got tapped by Treacle, and that's what happened. Everybody else able to cycle on by. But out in front, it is David Curtis, and he has got a mirror full of Mike Nickum. Everybody single file. Scott Kim third, Jacob Bielik in fourth, and late braking there for Brian Kennedy, who's already up 6 positions. A little bit wide through that corner. 208 of Justin Craig right there behind him, also a bit wide as he races hard with Jesse Brannon. Brannon's going to get that spot away, and that'll move him up to 8th position. David Curtis hanging on out in front right now. It is Mike Nickum behind him. Scott Kim, Adam Pohl, Brian Kennedy making up the top 5. First side-by-side battle in the field. That's going to be Jesse Brannon, Justin Craig once again, and a little contact right in front of them. Clint Fletcher, McLaren this week, as a car off the racetrack. That is Darren Treacle, well wide. Carlos Bonds followed him right through the sand as well as they get back on the racetrack. And a car sliding there. Brian Kennedy hangs onto it. Oh my goodness, and there goes Justin Craig, gets pinched off right there in that corner. Hang on to it. So a little bit of a messy opening lap for some of these guys, but David Curtis loving what he's seeing. The top 4 have broken away. And here's a great run by Mike Nickum now as he looks to driver's right to try and take the lead away. Behind them, Scott Kim. Gonna have Adam Pohl breathing down the inside here in just a moment. There are your top 4. Mike Nickum having some connection issues. It looks like he is blinking a little bit. Got Kim, Adam Pohl. Curtis still alongside for that race lead. Here comes Kim with the 7-Eleven machine up through the middle. Decides to back out of it. And we also have blink from Clint Fletcher. So a couple of cars with connection problems here early on. And hopefully that's not an indicator of problems with iRacing, but like it's stabilized for the moment. Mike Nickum takes the race lead away. David Curtis falls to second now. He's going to go late in the braking zone right there. And that'll maybe open the door for Adam Pohl as Scott Kim had to check up. Here we go. Maybe going to work the outside lane. Can he make the pass on Scott Kim? It looks like he will. So move Adam Pohl up to 3rd after starting 10th. Clint Fletcher up to 5th now, as he will, actually 4th, as he takes a position away from Scott Kim. So Clint Fletcher, Adam Pohl, 2 of the fastest drivers so far this season that we've seen. Brian Kennedy, the most consistent overall, but he still has the points lead, and he's right there in the fold as well. Pretty exciting stuff so far, and really nobody is out of it. Farthest back, you can see right there is Justin Craig, 10th position, just 6 seconds behind Carlos Bonds and Jakob Bielik. I guess they are a little bit farther back, and maybe problems there for Gazenda is side by side for 9th. Justin Craig, he'll complete that pass. Brian Kennedy, he's having some trouble with the back end of that Mercedes. It steps out on him every so often, and he have to dial back the brake bias or be a little bit more cautious on the throttle, maybe overcook the tires a little bit. Here comes Jesse Brannon, going to look to driver's right. And that'll force a mistake out of the 77. Or seemingly looks like a mistake, but he actually, great run out of the hairpin there. On board with Jesse Brannon. In 7th position after starting in 5th. Here comes Treacle, though, going to dive to the inside. Get a good view of that. Oh, and car around Brian Kennedy. Oh my goodness, just as I said, he was going to have to start taking it easy. Pulls right back into traffic. That car is going to be heavily damaged. See what happened to him racing with Scott Kim. Loses the back end and then hard on the inside wall. That is your points leader. This is going to hurt. He qualified fastest. He is going to finish right at the back of the field here in Sprint Race 1, but that will set him up nicely for Sprint Race 2. Farther up. Adam Pole bearing down on the 8 of David Curtis, who's done a fantastic job staying up here after qualifying a little bit farther back. Started tonight's Sprint Race 1 in 2nd as they work around here. Still side by side, and Clint Fletcher is right there. That's actually going to allow Clint Fletcher on through. And he's going to take a peek now alongside David Curtis. Maybe a little drafting work here with the 5 and the 69. Mike Nickham loves what he's seeing with these guys battling it out, but still plenty of time. Man, this is just crazy. This is the most cars still kind of in contention here after 6 or 7 minutes. Mike Nickham, he's got these guys behind him. The top 2 cars blinking a little bit here in this race. Now David Curtis is going to start feeling the pressure from Adam Pole, 2nd place in points. Going to try and make up a few points on Ryan Kennedy, who has hit road for the fast repair. How about the battle for the race lead, though? Trying to get a view of it as these guys blinking it. Here, connection problems. 69. Clint Fletcher has come from 11th position, 2nd to last in the grid, and he is there. Going to be fighting for this race lead. He's done this week in and week out, driving through the field. Has to stay mistake-free here, putting that pressure on the 57. Through the corner there, Mike Nickham, solid run out, but it is going to be that 69 McLaren all over the back bumper. Farther back, Adam Pole, he's going to look to drivers right now on David Curtis. Going to try and complete the pass for 3rd, just cannot seem to get it done. He's tried it in that same spot multiple times and has not been able to complete it yet. Now alongside for the lead and alongside for 3rd, here comes Clint Fletcher. Can he complete the pass? Takes a shorter route. He'll get clear of the 57 and move Clint Fletcher from 11th to 1st here in just 4 laps. Mike Nickham's going to try and track him back down. How about David Curtis, though? Still 3rd. Adam Pole, Scott Kim, Darren Treacle, your top 6 in this lead group as Pole makes a move really late in the braking zone there. 8 car. David Curtis going to cross him back over, and now Adam Pole all out of sequence here. Going to be fighting with Scott Kim, and here comes Darren Treacle. Might try and take him 2 or 3 wide. He'll at least try to get by the 7-Eleven. The Kirby BMW. Scott Kim. Brannon closes up because of all of that. Out in front, Clint Fletcher. He's already stretched his lead out about 8.5 tenths, and really is setting the benchmark this season in terms of performance. He is not your points leader, but currently 3rd in the standings, just 20 behind Brian Kennedy. And the way that this is going right now, he has been very quick. night, and he could have a good shot at perhaps sweeping the 2 sprint races. Brannon's going to work his way past Scott Kim for 6th position. Matthew Gazenda in 8th. Justin Craig started in 9th, running in 9th, not where he would want to be. Jacob Bielek in 10th, and then Carlos Bonds, Brian Kennedy round out the field. All about, can anyone catch Clint Fletcher? We're at the halfway point. I just don't see anybody catching that 69 machine. It's flying right now, already almost 2 seconds up the road. Down a pole now through to 3rd. And here comes Darren Treacle. He's going to pull the same move that Adam Pole did a few moments ago, but he's going to make it stick this time. Kind of cut the nose right off of David Curtis. Move Darren Treacle up to 4th. And Jesse Brannon on the move here. Going to try and take 5th away. Do just that. That's a 333 machine. Top 5. For some other battles, nobody really side by side. Pretty spaced out at the moment. Mike Nickham a little bit wide there out of the final corner. That's going to allow Adam Pole and Darren Treacle to start to close in on him. After leading 3 laps in this race, he's starting to fade quite a bit here. And Fletcher's now led a couple. Adam Pole up from 10th to 3rd, so he has moved right up through the field as well as Clint Fletcher. Darren Treacle from 8th to 4th. Really, this race is going to be a big hit for Brian Kennedy because 2nd and 3rd in standings are about to finish 1st and 2nd, I think, in this race, barring any major mistakes. Pole is going to complete the pass for 2nd. Adam Pole up to 2nd. The battle's going to be on for 3rd here a little bit shortly. Darren Treacle, Mike Nickham. And Treacle peaks driver's right, not quite there. On board with him for the moment. Let's see. Decides to make a move here. Tries to go late in the braking zone, but 57 car is there. Go back to the right, the final corner. And a good run out for the 57. The race through turn number 1. Out of the corner there. Mike Nickham still hanging on to a podium finish here, potentially. In sprint race number 1, you can see Clint Fletcher 3.6 seconds out in front of Adam Pole. We're looking back there, Scott Kim and David Curtis having pretty solid races here, running in the top half of the field. Kim all over the back of that 8 machine. Can he make a move to get 6th position back? Gonna at least attempt to down here. Not as late on the brakes. Not quite as smooth through that corner, so he's going to lose a little bit of ground there. Farther up, Mike Nickham under fire now from Jesse Brannon. Clear him for the moment. Here comes a crossover. Brannon just trying to set him up here. He's got a nice run there. You can see he's doing everything he can to try and get some clean air. He's got a great run right now. Going to be on the bumper. Not quite alongside into the corner, but he's going to send it down in. And it looks like I saw a little bit of dirt kicked up right there. So everybody's still pointed in the right direction up there in the top 3. The battle for 4th. Mike Nickham has it. Jesse Brannon wants it. Brannon has just been on a tear here in the second half of this race. He is climbed from about 10th position. Now looking at getting up to 4th. Not a good final couple of corners right there for him. Look at this, though. David Curtis, Scott Kim. Just about side by side. Scott not quite there. He goes well over the green pavement. I think he's going to get a little bit of a slowdown for that. This is really the battle to watch. 4th position, 5 minutes left in this race. Can Jesse Brannon get past the 57? The top 3 seem to be pretty spaced out, and maybe there'll be a battle between Darren Treacle and Adam Pohl. Not developing just yet. Oh, and a good run right there for Brannon. Again, closes right up to the back. There he goes. He's going to send it down in. They stay off each other. Maybe a little rub right there. Still side by side. And that is such a tough place to make that corner. And Brannon on through. On to 4th position as we've got more tire tracks. Possibly Darren Treacle. Sure. Pushing pretty hard. Really, all these top 3 are pushing very hard right now. They're running very good lap times. The 146s or faster than that, possibly. Everybody else 140, I-147s or slower. Although Justin Craig has picked up the pace here. He ran a 146.5. That'd be good for 4th fastest on the racetrack. So, you know, watch for it. And Brian Kennedy ran a 145.7s. Got the car fixed up, and he does have the speed. Look for him to possibly get a sprint race win in sprint race. You're starting from the front since he's going to finish towards the back here in this one. He'll lose some points tonight. Just no matter what, I think. Number 77. So, going to have to bank on good last couple of races this season to hold off Adam Pohl and Clint Fletcher, who have been the class of this sprint race. Look here, Scott Kim riding in 7th, was not able to get by David Curtis and has lost quite a bit of ground to him. Now about 3.5 seconds behind and go pretty wide back there. David Curtis, though, just about 1.5 seconds behind Mike Nickum. Actually closing that gap up just a little bit the last couple of corners. Came through the dirt there. We see some tire tracks, a groove being formed in the sand. But it has been all Clint Fletcher here in this one. As soon as he got the lead, he has driven away 3.7 seconds. Led 6 laps after starting shotgun on the field. Right on board with him for a moment here. These GT4 machines, not overly powerful, but very similar to the street car companion. Even, I think, really they're pretty much built out of the street cars with some modifications. Car with the suede dashboard there. Pohl starting to get blue Mercedes a little bit bigger in his mirror. And it'll be one more lap to go as they head back towards the start-finish line. Clint Fletcher, a few more corners in this lap. So he'll be coming back to the white flag here as the clock continues to tick down. Maybe issues for Guzenda, who loses a spot now to Jakub Bielik. He ran a pretty nice lap time there. It looks like a lot of guys have picked up lap time, though, as the fuel's burned off. Eye on the race leader, though, Clint Fletcher. A few more corners here. He'll come back to the white flag, and then the battle is going to be on for second. Darren Treacle cut the distance down to about 9/10 of a second. He's going to start feeling a little bit of the draft, a little bit of slipstream here. See if he can do anything with Adam Pohl, maybe force him into a mistake. Looks like Darren may be a little bit off through the first corner there. That may be just enough of a margin for the 5 machine to feel comfortable. White flag in the air for Clint Fletcher. Working back towards another sprint race win. Adam Pohl still hanging on here, 1.3 seconds over Darren Treacle. Jesse Brannon, another 5.5 seconds back in 4th. Good race from him. Started 5th. Lost a lot of ground. Worked his way back up to 4th. Finished right around there. Mike Nickum, solid race from him. He led 3 laps in this race. Starting in 4th, currently running in 5th. David Curtis started 2nd. Did lead a lap here tonight. And currently running in the 6th position. Clint Fletcher, what can you say? He's kind of the test guy for this league. Go out there, test lap times, see what's competitive. Flashing the lights. Happy about his performance here in race number 1. Still not done for 2nd position, but the corners are running out here for Darren Treacle. To be able to come home on the podium. Here we go through the final corner. The 69 of Clint Fletcher. What a race from him. Nearly last to first. He's going to weave it across the start-finish line. Very happy man in the McLaren. Then an Aston Martin, Adam Pohl in 2nd. And then Darren Treacle going to come home 3rd. Jesse Brannon, he'll finish 4th. Mike Nickum looks like he will finish in the 5th position. David Curtis will come home 6th. Job there. Scott Kim, he'll hold off. Justin Craig finished 7th. Justin Craig 8th. Jakub Bielik come across the line in 9th. Behind him, Matthew Guzenda. Carlos Bonds about 15 seconds further back. Another 15 seconds behind there. Going to be Brian Kennedy, who was the fastest in qualifying, but early issues in this one. Had some trouble hanging on to that car in the first couple of laps. So we'll see what he learned here in this race that he can take. He'll be starting from the pole in race number 3. That's all of this action here tonight so far at Hockenheimring. We're gonna pull up Jesse Brannon and talk to him, see what he learned in race number 1. Finished 4th. Forward here to talk to. Jesse Brannon, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
Hey, Adam. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you. Well, man, you started 5th in that race. I think you lost some ground early on. I don't quite recall what happened, but, man, you were on a tear there for the second half. Was there something you learned or figured out, or were you just kind of saving everything you had for the second half of that race?
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed to just I got a little more comfortable towards the middle of the race there. So.
Yeah, is there anything that you learned in that one that you're going to carry forward here in race 2? You got quite a few cars to go out there and pass.
Yeah, there's a couple turns that when you hit them right, that you just pick up so much speed, and if you miss them by just a little bit, it's like a half second. So it's just important to hit the turns that you need to hit.
Well, you definitely look good out there, especially the second half of that race. So looking forward to see what you can do here in race number 2, and good luck.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Adam. Take care.
All right, that is Jesse Brannon, finished 4th in race number 1. And we're going to go to a quick commercial break to hear from tonight's race sponsors, and we will be right back. Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and proudly represents the DMV area. Check out their lineup of unique IPAs, lagers, sours, stouts, and even seltzers. Savory and delicious empanadas by Peruvian Brothers are now available in their tap room, For all things Beltway, go to beltwaybrewco.com and follow at Beltway Brew Co. on social media. SEO Mike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEO Mike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEO Mike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. Back at the racetrack, now green flag in the air for sprint race number 2 from Hockenheimring. If you're just joining us, this is the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. And man, as they filter through turn 1, cars go around. Adam Pohl collected. He's going to go for his big spin. I also saw David Curtis. I think he was the first one to get turned around right there. Go back and take a look at what happened here from the overhead camera. Car went wide up there. Treacle goes around. Adam Pohl gets clipped by David Curtis, I think, as Curtis got turned by Pohl. Yep, that's what happened. Flipped to the left rear, and there goes Adam Pohl spinning. Darren Treacle back here. So a couple of the fastest cars in race number 1. They're going to be at the back of the field here in race number 2. And what a break for Brian Kennedy. Although Brian started on the pole, and he is having trouble getting going in that Mercedes as fast as he has been in practice and qualifying and in race number 1 after he got the car fixed. Just gonna have to figure out these first couple laps. He's trying to probably just keep the car underneath him here and no big mistakes, seeing his competition, the other contenders collected there. But let's keep an eye on Clint Fletcher, who actually sitting on pit road. Was he collected in that accident? He battling for second position. Justin Craig trying to force his way by Matthew Gazenda. Can't quite get it done that time as we're working back towards the end of lap number 1. Jakub Bielik out in front, going to try and lead a lap here, and I think we might have just had a little contact. Justin Craig hard on the brakes, uses the 52 up just a little bit there. Side by side for a moment. Got Kim and Jesse Brannon. So our top 3 finishers in the previous race. Oh, we had a side-by-side battle into turn 1 right there. Kim and Brannon. Brian Kennedy looks driver's right. Justin Craig not going to make that move. Jakub Bielik, he'll lead lap number 1. We'll see if he can hang on to it here for a little while. Got some fast guys behind him. The top 3 finishers in race 1 currently scored the bottom 3 positions in this one. 10th, 11th, 12th, heavy damage, or maybe not even starting this one for Clint Fletcher. He's been on pit road 2 minutes and will not compete for a win in this second sprint race. Brian Kennedy tries to make the move. Looks like he'll get it to stick alongside Justin Craig. They'll drag race down this straightaway into the corner there. Brian Kennedy, he's clear. He's going to go defensive on turn entry. And Justin Craig crossing back over. Not going to happen that time, as behind them, Jesse Brannon and Scott Kim side by side. Ooh, close call right there, but Jesse Brannon, he'll move to 5th. Oh, contact there, Justin Craig. He's going to go through the grass and around into the wall. That car may be stuck. For the overhead view of that one, they were racing hard back here. Had a good run on Brian Kennedy, who went and threw a block on him. Then into the barrier for Justin Craig, who has towed it to pit lane. Not going to be a good finish for him in sprint race number 2, but that'll promote Brian Kennedy up to 2nd. He's gotten by Matthew Gazenda now. And a bit of a mission here for the 77 to try and earn points. Aaron Treacle going to work his way past David Curtis. Adam Pohl not too far behind. Both those cars relatively undamaged, but very far behind your race leader. But pretty wild here at the beginning of this second race. Jesse Brannon, Scott Kim. Scott having a really competitive night. Not a good run out of that corner. As soon as I say that, I think it kind of jinxed him a little bit. Here comes Mike Nickum. Also led some laps in sprint race 1. Keep 5th is Scott Kim will over Mike Nickum. Yakov over those rumble strips, and Brian Kennedy following suit there. The car is hopping through the air to roll over those rumble strips. Far up the road, Clint Fletcher has joined the racetrack. For what was going on there, I know he had connection problems in race 1. We're trying to rectify those and didn't make it back in time. I think we've seen that from him in previous races as well. Brian Kennedy closing up now. About the time he made a mistake in race number 1 and actually lost the race car and slammed the inside wall. But look at the run into turn number 1. He is right there now. Probably be able to get in alongside into this corner. Pretty conservative entry right there. Try and set up for a different passing zone. That is a tough corner to make a pass in. With Justin Craig also back on the racetrack. So a lap or 2 down. And Brian Kennedy goes normal lane there. Yakov Bielik a little bit defensive. Not a great exit out of that corner, but Brian not able to take advantage. Matthew Gazenda, Jesse Brannon too far behind. They could take advantage of mistakes or hard racing here. And maybe an opportunity for the 77. No, he thinks better of it. Yakov goes a little wide right there, but nice solid job to hang on to the race lead. But here comes Brian Kennedy. Gonna be right to the back bumper. And now gonna make a move alongside driver's right. Yakov with the preferred lane right there. Can the 77 cross him over? Not enough room to do so. Pretty narrow racetrack here at the Hockenheimring. At that point of the racetrack, at least. And it is so close for this race lead. And Gazenda and Jesse Brannon loving it. They're getting pulled right into it. Yakov Bielik, he has led now the 4 laps. Great job by him. And here comes Brian Kennedy. Tries to make the move. Not quite alongside yet. Gazenda, Jesse Brannon, they are there now. The top 4 under 1 second separating them. Or under 1.5 seconds. And then Scott Kim back there in 5th. Good race from him. Mike Nickum behind him. Very impressed with Yakov Bielik to be able to hold off Brian Kennedy, who's been so fast here. But a good run for the 77. Can he make a move in the braking zone? Not quite. Riding on board here, Jesse Brannon. We've been on his car quite a bit tonight. He's been right up in the mix. How about Matthew Gazenda, though? Good sprint race 2 for him. Brian Kennedy doing everything he can, using every inch of racetrack. Not able to get around the 71. Yaakov's just quick enough, and he's doing a great job defensively. Just got to hang on a little bit more here. It's still 11 minutes left in this race. That is a lot to deal with. He's handling the pressure extremely well in the top 4. All racing hard up here. Mike Nickham trying to get around Scott Kim. Will just about, but no, Scott Kim powers back around the outside. Drag race down this stretch, and here comes Darren Treacle with a huge run, and he's going to try and take a 2-for-1 right here. And he may just about get it. Good job there from Darren Treacle. He'll move into the top 5 with that power move right there. So recovering as battle for the lead. Jakub Bielik tries to back out early. Cannot get the power back down. Brian Kennedy to the point now. That 77 car has been quick. Now he's got clean running room in front of him. Adam Pohl going to try and work by Scott Kim, and he's going to get through to 7th. And now he's going to get into the back of Mike Nickham and sends him around. I can take a look at that. Just tags him, and around goes Mike Nickham. Able to get back rolling here. Out in front, Brian Kennedy. He's taking the lead now past the halfway point. Already stretched it out about 9/10 of a second. Battle for 3rd, Jesse Brannon. Finished 4th in race number 1 after a late charge. Had a podium finish right here. He's been quick, one of the fastest, especially on that long run. Brian Kennedy out front 1 second now, so slowly pulling away. Jakub Bielik, very admirable effort here in race number 2. 5 laps led. Could still be on his way to a podium finish, and man, impressive would that be here. Lead laps and hold off what looks to be the fastest car in the field tonight. So long right there. Really good job by Jakub. Jesse Brannon 3rd. Behind him, it is Matthew Gazenda, the top 4, well out in front of then Darren Treacle, who is in 5th. He's got over 5 seconds to make up. Adam Pohl in 6th. Got Kim, Curtis Carlos Bonds, Mike Nickham, the top 10. Look, we could have a battle brewing back here between Carlos Bonds and David Curtis. Great thing about road racing, there's always somebody battling out there. No matter how big or small the field is, you can always find something going on here. David Curtis Starting to feel the pressure here from Carlos Bonds. Carlos started second in this one. He also started up towards the front in race number 1, but got turned around early. In this case, I think possibly also some early issues set him farther back. Really cool track here, though, the Hockenheimring. This is where they race Formula 1. As slow for Matthew Gazenda. Has he got a problem? Back up to speed here. Just maybe a mistake in that braking zone. Taking a look as all these guys drive by. David Curtis, Carlos Bonds still battling here. About the only battle to speak of at the moment. It looks like Jesse Brannon starting to close up a little bit on Jakub Bielik for second. Just over 5 minutes left in race. Gonna have to start making some progress right here. But Brian Kennedy out in front, 2.3 seconds. For that lead. He was a half second quicker last lap. Fastest car on the racetrack, though, was Adam Pohl in 6th, but he's not really battling anyone. Recall, 5th is starting to close up on Matthew Gazenda. That could be a battle not too long from now. Gap just over 1.2 seconds. Brannon has closed up quite a bit, actually, on Jakub Bielik. He gained a half second so far this lap. Jakub's run a nice, clean, smooth race. No major mistakes. Now he would like to finish on the podium, I'm sure. Quite a distance back to Matthew Gazenda. Not quite on pace with the top 3. Really not quite on pace with the top 7. He's just right here sandwiched in the middle. He got the track position, hanging on to it. But he is going to have heavy pressure from Darren Treacle now, who's all over the back bumper. Gonna try and make the dive down into the corner nicely and smooth on the brakes. Treacle Insurance, AMG, Mercedes gonna move up to 4th position, and now he sets his sights forward, but like gonna run out of time. 5.7 seconds up to Jesse Brannon. These two get to battling, they can start to lose time. It's gonna be 2 more laps following the conclusion of this lap. It's not done yet. Darren was faster by about a half second over these top 2. Or top 3. Matthew Gazenda not going to let Darren get away that easy. Still just car lengths behind him. Now with a little bit more clean air, that 70 car should be able to run away. Adam Pohl goes wide and through the sand. Back on the racetrack, though. Tires a little bit dirtier than they were before. that battle for second. Brannon just gotten about this close. He doesn't seem to be able to get much closer than this. Have to push a little harder here these last 2 laps. And have a little bit of that draft. Pull him in just a tiny bit, but it's also going to hurt him a little bit in these corners. Just a little bit slower through that section, loses a couple of tenths. And a pole trying to get back into the top 5. That'd be very important for his points. After what looked like it could have been a lost cause here in sprint race number 2, he's made something of it, able to get back up. Challenge for a top 5 position. Matthew Gazenda goes defensive, back into the normal entry there, locks it up a little bit. And Adam Pohl also, that was just really slow, really odd from the 52. Looked like he almost just handed it right to him. Not sure what happened right there, but Adam able to slide on through. Possibly a missed shift for the 52 of Matthew. Battle for second right here. Jesse Brannon, Yakov Bielik. Going to be coming back to the white flag, though, for Brian Kennedy, who's run away with this lead, 3.5 seconds up the road. And he will take the white flag this time. Brian Kennedy, the points leader. A rough race number 1 where he finished last, but he qualified on the pole. Started on the pole in this one. Looks like he's going to be on his way to a sprint race win. Yakov Bielik, he's handled the pressure from Jesse Brannon very well. And how about Darren Treacle? Man, he has put down some laps right now. Closed up over 2 seconds on Jesse Brannon the last time. Up to 5th, Matthew Gazenda 6th, Scott Kim 7th, David Curtis 8th, Carlos Bonds 9th, Mike Nickham hides 10th, Justin Craig 11th, Clint Fletcher, who joined the race late, only about 9 seconds behind Justin Craig, so not too bad from him, but you can see the race leader, Brian Kennedy, about halfway around on the final lap here. Battle is not done for second, though. Looks like Jesse Brannon has put in a few really good corners. He's cut it down to 4/10, make that about 2 car lengths as they close in on the last few corners here. Can he get to the 71? Try and force him into a mistake. Not a lot of time left to do it. Brian Kennedy through the final corner. He's going to win sprint race number 2, the 77 AMG Mercedes. And second place, going to go to Yakov Bielik. Great job from him. Jesse Brannon rounds out the podium here in race 2. Aaron Treacle, he'll come home in 4th. Adam Pohl in 5th. After those two spinning early on in this one, impressive recovery. Matthew Gazenda, he'll finish 6th. Scott Kim, another solid run. He'll finish 7th. David Curtis, able to hold off Carlos Bonds. Those two were going at it for about 5 or 6 laps in 8th and 9th. Then Mike Nickham, he'll finish in 10th. Justin Craig come home in 11th. Clint Fletcher, he'll finish in 12th position. As they all pile in, Brian Kennedy, your race winner here in sprint race number 2. Pull him right up into the booth. Brian Kennedy, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, man, race 1 did not go how I'm sure you wanted it to go. It looked like you were struggling with the feel of the car, but man, you got it underneath you here in race number 2, and you go on and take the win. How does it feel to learn and then improve here in race number 2?
Yeah, like I said, not the night I wanted. You know, I got in front in race 2 because I did so poorly in race 1, and then the reverse grid, and then in reverse race 2, I think I had contact with Justin in the second lap there, and I'll have to watch the replay, but I have a feeling that I moved over on him, so I wasn't sure. So I feel bad about that, and yeah. So again, nice win. I'm happy for it, but you gotta have a messy night. So
Yeah, and sometimes that you'll have those, but it shows some resilience to be able to at least go out there after a kind of a rough first race and then be able to run up there and put in those great lap times in race 2, lead 7 laps on your way to the win. Go to Boulder next week. How do you feel about going out there?
So I'm gonna be traveling next week. Won't be able to attend, but yeah,
Okay.
I do like that track. So sorry to miss it, but I think that's one that has like some interesting names like Icky, whatever. That there's an F1 driver from back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, some quarter names. Yeah, so that's gonna tighten up the points battle. You came in with the points lead. You lost a few points there in race 1, but getting the pole and then winning sprint race 2, it's gonna be, probably gonna be, still pretty close to what you started with. But missing next week, then you think you'll still have a shot at the championship, in the final race?
Yeah, I think so. There's always a chance, Anyone can have a messy night, but yeah, Adam's been pretty consistent and gaining on me, and Clint too. So yeah, it's gonna be tough to hold on to the lead, especially with the missed race. So should be fun end of the season.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna get really tight there, I think. But man, congrats on the win here in sprint race 2. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course, our sponsors, SEO Mike and Sten at Beltway Brewing. Hope to see Sten back here next season, in the fall season, I mean. And I know he hasn't done it this summer, but yeah, just shout out to those guys and all the guys in the league for another fun night of racing.
Awesome, Brian. Well, congrats on the win, and going through adversity there and able to take that victory. Go celebrate, and we will catch you in a couple weeks.
Thanks. See you, Adam.
As your race winner, let's go to second place finisher. Now that's going to be Yakov Bielik, who had 5 laps here in this race. Hey, Yakov, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
Hello, Adam.
Hey, man, how about this race? You led some laps out here. You get a nice, solid second place finish, and you were holding off what looked to be the fastest car in the field there in an incredible battle.
Yeah, was Jesse the fastest car in the field? Or were you talking about when Brian passed me?
Yeah, I think Brian.
Yeah, he was holding back. But anyways, it's nice to be here. It's nice to speak to you, Adam. So it's rare, so I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, you definitely ran really well in the second sprint race. You started 4th, and you held it on. You held it out front for 5 laps. So really impressive. I was saying how impressed I was that you were keeping it out there and running really, really nice, smooth, fast laps. So great job.
That's what you get. That's what you get from coming back from a real club race weekend. So you pick up some skills, I guess.
That'll do it. You think you'll make it out next week to Zolder?
I have another club race next week at Mosport, so yeah, I'll probably miss that. So.
Well, the real world definitely trumps the sim world, so
it's a little more expensive, that's for sure. So
yeah, no doubt. But great run here, especially in the second sprint race. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely the sponsors, so Beltway Brewery and SEO Mike, and big shout out to Scott, obviously, for putting this all together, and NCC Sim Racing, and Brian for all his support there as well. So, yep, and of course my sponsor, Crafting for a Cure. So,
awesome. Well, good luck in the real world next week, and
thank you.
Hopefully we see you back in a couple weeks. But man, great run tonight. Go celebrate. We'll see you soon.
Thanks again, Adam. Nice being here. Ciao.
Right, let's go to third place now. That is Jesse Brannon. Talked to Jesse earlier. Jesse, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Adam, how you doing?
Not too bad, man. It seems you did learn a little bit. You finish another spot better in this one here, third place in sprint race 2. really good night overall. And man, you were closing up there. Was there anything you could have done to get to Yakov before
Yeah,
checkered
I,
flag?
I, on turn one, I picked up 4x and I picked up another cheapy 4x. So I was trying not to be too aggressive to get a black flag. But yeah, I kind of lucked out there on turn one. I think I picked up like 4 or 5 positions right then.
Yeah, there was a big pile up right there, right? All those cars sliding, going every which way, and
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you definitely had a really fast car like you did in the first race, and drove your way up to a podium finish. We go to Zolder next week. How do you feel about going out there?
Yeah, Zolder's a fun track.
Do you have any experience with that one, or?
Yeah, a couple races. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I've never liked Hockenheim before, but I seemed pretty good at it tonight. So
Interesting how that works. I know a lot of guys who say they don't like racetracks, but they turn out to be some of their best racetracks. So it's like a funny thing there. But man, great runs tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
yeah, obviously the sponsors and you for broadcasting whenever you can. That's great. Really gives us some professionalism to the league, so it's great. And that's it.
Awesome, Jesse. Well, congrats again. 2 great performances here tonight, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks. Take care.
Thank you. If we can get Clint Fletcher here for his sprint race, 1 win, make him driver of the day. Pull him in. And Fletcher, Adam in the V-Speed booth, you got a copy.
I do.
Well, man, incredible race number 1 for you. I know you missed the start here in race 2, but man, last to first. I think this is the second time you may have done that this season. Really impressive performance, and you went out there and just drove away from those guys. What were you doing out there that that allowed you to just be so quick out here tonight?
Honestly, I don't know. I wasn't actually going to do this race this week. So my flights got changed, so I didn't practice until Wednesday. And then I just picked the McLaren, tested the Mercedes a little bit, and stuck with the McLaren. It seemed to work for me, so I honestly don't know. A bit of luck, maybe a little ounce of skill. Who knows, really?
Well, definitely showed off the skill, I would say. I mean, it's not easy to pass, 11 other cars out there and then drive away at the end of it. But yeah, definitely a great performance out here from you. We go to Zolder next week. You think you're going to make that one, or how do you think
Yes,
you'll do out there?
definitely will make that. We did it with the M8s, so a little bit of practice there. I know Brian is particularly quick. I'm sure Adam will be quick there as well, so I think we can put on a good show.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. It's been great races all season long from you guys, and thanks for putting on quite an entertaining performance going from last to first there in Sprint Race 1. Anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course, you, Adam, putting on the broadcast, as well as Scott, Brian, Dean, those guys for hosting the BMW Club.
Awesome, Clint. Well, congrats again on Sprint Race number 1, and at least running out Sprint Race number 2. But we'll catch you next week at Zolder and see if you can go back to back.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Thank you. So that is Fletcher, driver of the day after Sprint Race number 1, him to victory lane. Let's take a look now at the rest of the results here from 2. Only 1 lead change. That was Brian Kennedy taking the lead away from Yakov Bielik. And they finished first and second. Jesse Brannon comes home third. Darren Treacle, he'll charge all the way to 4th after spinning early on. Adam Pohl finishes in 5th, also charging from a spin. Matthew Gazenda finishes 6th. Scott Kim 7th. David Curtis 8th. Carlos Bonds 9th. And Mike Nickham round out the top 10. 11th was Justin Craig. After contact with Brian Kennedy sent him around. Clint Fletcher rounds out the field here after missing the start. He'll finish in 12th position. He almost caught Justin Craig as well, just 1 second the difference right there. So that shows the speed of that 69 car here tonight. Hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. We will be back Tuesday night with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series from Auto Club for their second race of the season. You won't want to miss that after such an entertaining race 1. It's going to be a really great season over there Tuesday nights. And just a couple more here in this league for this season. Here on Thursdays. We'll be back next Thursday, 8:15 p.m. from Zolder for race number 8. Just a couple more after that to close things out. We'll update the point standings, have those ready for you next week. See where the drivers are entering the evening and how things might shape out at the end of the night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you all